Students, today we are going to start the first lecture of Unit 3 of Environmental Studies and Water Quality. Basically, this Unit 3 as well as Unit 4 will deal with the water quality parameters, how a potable water is achieved, how the water is treated, what are the different structures which are being constructed in order to deliver water from source to treatment plant. This all will be dealt in this. Now let's see the topics to be covered in this unit. First of all, sources of water supply. What are the different sources of water supply? Where do we get the water? The water which is being treated in wastewater plant, where do we get it from? Whenever we think of sources of water supply, we think in two contexts. Either it will be a surface water or it will be subsurface water. What is surface water? The water present in lakes, rivers, oceans, etc. These are all surface water sources. And subsurface water, water which is stored inside the ground in aquifers, which we call as groundwater. In addition to these two, there are two other sources also. One is the rainwater obtained after rainwater harvesting. What is rainwater harvesting? Water is collected from the top of roofs, of homes, of offices and other structures, and it is being stored in some underground tanks. Or the other way out is just recharging the aquifers or groundwater by means of this rainwater. So this rainwater which is obtained after rainwater harvesting, this is also a source of water supply. This can be utilized at local levels or even at some institute level or at some locality level. They can be stored in big tanks and it can be utilized. The fourth source is the reused water. What is reused water? Reused water means the wastewater which is being treated. So that treated wastewater can be reutilized. It can be reused. That water is reused water. Okay. Then next topic is intake works. What are these intake works? Intake works are masonry structures constructed to deliver the water, to transport water from the source of water supply to the water treatment plant. They act as a connecting link between source of water supply and the water treatment plant. Because water treatment can be done only at some water treatment plant, and that water treatment plant may not be at the source of water. It may be away from source of water, and usually it is away from source of water. Okay. Then how are we going to get water for treatment at these treatment plants? So these intake structures, they are used to deliver the water, to transport the water from source of supply to the water treatment plant. Okay. Next is the pumps. Pumps or pumping stations, they are used to deliver the water with sufficient pressure, with sufficient head to the water treatment plant, as well as they are also utilized, these pumps are also utilized in water distribution systems when water is being distributed in the locality, different localities. Next topic is water treatment, water demand. How much water is required in a particular area? This is quite an important factor in designing a water treatment plant. Whenever we are designing a water treatment plant, we need to know what is the water demand of that area. How much water is required in that area. How we will know that? There are many factors which govern this water demand. It depends upon the type of locality. It depends upon the economic status of the locality. It depends upon the population of the locality. How much is the population of the locality? So first of all, we need to know the population of a locality. For that, there are different population prediction methods. There are several methods which we will study later on. Then next is the water distribution system. How water is distributed. Water has been treated now in the treatment plant. Now it has to be distributed in the locality. Okay. So how are we going to distribute this water? What are the different stages or what are the different components in this water distribution system? Then lastly, we'll see the different water quality parameters. What are the different water quality parameters? Basically, when we talk of water quality parameters, there are two basic parameters. One is the physical parameter and the other one is the chemical parameter. Physical parameters, in a layman's word, you can say that those parameters which you can see from your naked eye. For example, color of water. If the water is colored, you can see from your naked eye. And obviously, colored water is not potable water. You cannot drink. If anyone offers you a glass of colored water, no one is going to drink it. Okay. So this is a physical parameter. Color is a physical parameter. Okay. Similarly, chemical parameters are those parameters which are obtained by means of some chemical testing. For example, pH. You don't know exactly by naked eye, you cannot judge that what chemical parameter is there in this water, how much pH is there. You will have to perform some test, some chemical test. Okay. So pH is there, BOD, COD is there. These are all chemical water quality parameters. Now let's start with the sources of water supply. As told earlier, there are basically 4 sources of water supply. First of all, there is surface water and the other one is groundwater or subsurface water. Then we have rainwater collected from roofs of houses or through catchments. Let me give you a beautiful example of IIT Bombay. Actually, IIT Bombay is located in a locality called Powai, and there is just a side of 500 meters or a kilometer from IIT Bombay campus, there is an artificial lake called Lake Powai Lake. And IIT Bombay, it gets its entire water supply from that Powai Lake. So what is this Powai Lake? This is also a type of catchment. Rainwater is being collected and that rainwater is being used as potable water. So this is also a source of water supply. Then fourth source is water obtained from reclamation. Reclamation means after some processing. For example, desalination. You are removing the salt from seawater and making it a potable water. So what is this? This is reclamation, desalination, removing salt from seawater and then utilizing it as potable water. Or reusing the treated wastewater. Wastewater is there, it has been treated. Now it can be reused as potable water. And this is being done in many countries. Now next topic is intake works. Intake works are the structures used for admitting water from the surface sources. For example, rivers, reservoirs, lakes, and conveying it further to the treatment plant. So two processes are there. One is admitting water, taking the water from water supply sources and then transporting it to the treatment plant. They are basically masonry structures or concrete structures. Okay. Now let's see the types of intakes. First of all, this is a simple submerged intake. Submerged intake, why it is called submerged intake? You can see here, this intake structure, entire intake structure is below water surface. From the water surface, you cannot find out that there is an intake inside. So this is called submerged intake. This is inside water. What are the basic components of intakes? First of all, intakes contain a bell mouth structure or an opening mostly they are bell mouth, open mouth, widened mouth. Okay. And on this bell mouth structure or widened mouth structure, above this structure, bell mouth structure, there are racks. There are trash racks. These trash racks or these coarse filters, you can say basically. These trash racks or coarse filters, what do? They remove the large particles. For example, boulders, stones, big stones are there in the rivers, in water bodies flowing along. Floating logs are there, floating wooden logs are there. Dead bodies are there. These are all. So these screens or these filters, coarse filters, they remove these particles. They do not allow these particles, boulders, dead bodies, to move into this penstock, move into this pipe. Okay. So there is a bell mouth structure, and above that bell mouth structure, there are these types of filters or screens, okay, coarse screens, and then we have a penstock. What is this penstock? This is a cast iron pipe. A long pipe is there, cast iron pipe. This pipe is called penstock. This is basically cast iron pipe. And you can see this entire structure is being placed on some concrete block. Okay, to avoid floating or to avoid floating away of these structures, to avoid destruction of these. Then this water is being delivered into some sump. This is a sump. What is this sump? This sump is basically a structure, underground tank, you can say. This is just like an underground tank which is storing water. This underground structure, this tank is storing water. Okay, the water which is coming from the source of supply, this sump is storing it. Now, we have a pumping station above this sump. This pumping station or pumps installed above this sump, they will suck the water and they will deliver it to the treatment plant. Okay, and then treatment is finished. Okay. Then similarly, we have a river intake. What is the river intake? If the water is being withdrawn from some river, then that structure is called river intake. These river intakes may be protected or unprotected. These river intakes may be protected or unprotected. What is the difference between protected and unprotected? In protected river intake, what do we do? In protected river intakes, you can see here, in protected river intakes, you can see screens are placed. Screens are placed ahead of this opening, the bell mouth structure from where water will enter into this penstock. What is the purpose of these screens? These screens will remove the large boulders, the larger items, the large pieces of logs, the larger impurities present in water, and they will not allow to come to this bell mouth structure, so that there is least burden on the coarse screen which is placed on this structure. Okay. So if these screens are placed, then it is a protected river intake. It is more preferable as compared to unprotected river intake. Now, this is a reservoir intake. In case of reservoir intake, you can see there are two intakes. One intake is at high river level, a high water level, and the other one is below low water level. What is the purpose of these two intakes? Why there are two intakes?